My name's Eli Jensen. Welcome to my shop here in Prescott, Arizona. If you're interested in knife making, you may have noticed that there's a lot of information out there about how to make a knife inexpensively out of junk parts. You may have also noticed that there's a lot of information out there about how to be a professional knife maker using very expensive knife making equipment. I found, however, though, that there's not a lot of information out there about the tools in between. What do you do if you've already made your first knife, but you're not quite ready to be a professional knife maker and spend tens of thousands of dollars on equipment? Well, this video is aimed at addressing that gap. And so I'm going to show you how to make a knife using equipment that may not be well suited to knife making, but is well suited enough, and you may already have, and works great if you know how to do it right. Alright, here's the knife we're going to make. It's a simple, smaller knife. It can be used for hunting, everyday carry, utility, that sort of thing. It has a simple drop point spine, simple blade shape, a nice simple handle, finger trail here so your finger doesn't slip up onto the blade, a nice rounded belly for good grip. My favorite part of this design is the butt of the knife. I like how it is shorter on the bottom, so your hand doesn't have too much area to slide up and down. If I put my fingers close together, there's a good maybe half inch almost of extra space. So there is plenty of space, it's comfortable, it's not going to be cramped, but you're not going to be sliding up and down. But the top part of the handle is a little bit longer, so if you need to put pressure right here with this part of your hand, whenever you're cutting, you can get that leverage. Now when I've got a design that I really like this one, I'll trace it out and cut it out on this masonite so I can just trace it onto this steel directly. I like to do that with a Sharpie and give myself a nice fat outline. It gives me a lot of leeway when I'm cutting it out. If I want to change the design when I'm cutting it out, I might cut it out to the edge of the Sharpie and then kind of play around cutting into that fat border as I'm cutting it out. Kind of depends how I want to make the knife, how I feel at the time. But when I'm designing a knife for the first time, I'll trace it out on paper and then I'll glue it directly to the steel using just super glue. Other glues will work. I've used wood glue. Super glue just dries faster and I can be pretty impatient sometimes. So I'm just going to take my steel here and just glue it out, trim these edges, make sure it fits on there, as well as you can get it to fit. And we're going to be using 1095 steel. I'm going to be using that. If you're new to knife making, I recommend that you use 1084. It's quite a bit more forgiving in the heat treat if you plan on heat treating it yourself. Before we get started on the actual knife, I want to talk about safety. It's overlooked a lot of the times, but it's very important. There's a lot of things in knife making that can be very hazardous, and we don't want anybody to get hurt. So you need the proper safety equipment. The piece that I prefer is this full face respirator. It forms a seal around your face and it protects your eyes so nothing can get in, even on the sides. I've found with regular safety glasses that debris can get up under there and still get in your eyes, and that's not good. So I don't even usually use those any of the time. These filters are really good at filtering dust and particulates, vapors. They're a whole lot better than the paper masks that you can get, the disposable ones. I don't recommend that you use those. I recommend that you use a respirator. If I'm doing stuff like sanding that doesn't require eye protection, I like to use this half-face respirator. It's a little bit more comfortable. This one can get pretty heavy in front of your face. And sometimes I'll also couple this with a face shield to give myself complete protection. I still feel more confident with the full face, but it's more versatile to have the two pieces together, and I just like to have a lot of options. And also, hearing protection. A lot of people don't pay attention to this because they think, oh, it's not that loud. But even though it might not seem that loud, it can really add up and damage your hearing over time. And earplugs are inexpensive, they're not difficult to use, so just use them. It's not difficult. And finally, long sleeve, long pants is always a good idea. I don't always do that, especially if I'm just sanding or something, but it is recommended, and as far as that goes, it's sort of whatever you're comfortable with.